you mind if I move these back? Just a little. $13? $13? Oh man. Worst people only have, poor people only have a 10. Don't laugh, John. Good, these guys only have Samsung 8, I think. We're good? Everybody good? Yeah.
Good to go, Chief.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. I'm Steve Ignacio, the Chief of Police. We're here today at a press conference, and I'd like to thank you all for making time on such short notice to join us today. We're here today to announce a breakthrough and a big development in the investigation of the death and disappearance of Mr. Michael Castro. As you all know, our previous arrests have been made and indictments have been handed down in that death or disappearance and death of Mr. Castro. Over the past 24 hours, we developed new information which led us today to the discovery of evidence and human remains. And based on all the information that we've received to date, we strongly believe that the human remains that we recovered today up in the Yigo area are those of Mr. Michael Castro. At this time, and just like in the earlier mentioned case, there is no positive confirmation yet on the identification of the remains, and that will be up to the medical examiner, which will be the forensic pathologist, which will be flown in from Hawaii. I've already discussed this matter with the Attorney General and the Chief Prosecutor, and arrangements are being made already to fly in the Chief Medical Examiner, or I'm sorry, the forensic pathologist, Dr. Ishikawa from Hawaii, within a reasonable amount of time. So we expect the forensic pathologist to be here hopefully within the week, if not the next couple of weeks, so that we can do these forensic examinations of the human remains that we found for the Messier and the Castro case. Okay, so we wanted to call you here today to confirm to the community and to the media, our media partners, that yes, we have found human remains, that we strongly believe, based on all the information we've got, that it is the remains of Mr. Michael Castro. Okay? Hold on, let's start this way and go around, and then we'll allow everybody an opportunity.
Was it government property or private property that the body, that the remains were found?
You know, I'm not sure at this point. I'll tell you right now, this is a very active, ongoing recovery, and the officers and are still at the scene. I'd also like to mention, I'd like to thank the Guam Fire Department. Based on the terrain that we were dealing with, we had to call in the Guam Fire Department Search and Rescue Land Team, I believe, to assist us in recovering the evidence that contained what we believe are the remains of Mr. Castro. Okay, next.
Chief, was this the Hanum area in Yigo, and how did we get the tip about this info?
We're not able to disclose specific information as to how we were led to this area. Suffice to say that, again, based on the totality of the investigation, we believe that these are the remains of Mr. Castro.
But this wasn't Hanum?
It's in Yigo. I don't know the specific area. I haven't had the chance to visit it myself yet. Okay, anyone else this way?
Chief, we confirmed with the Department of Corrections that Troy Damian was at the scene this morning. Are you able to confirm that?
No, I cannot confirm anything at this point. Okay. Anybody else? This
Chief,
way?
without getting, did you have a question about that?
Yeah, just asking, what happened to the previous claims that Will Castro's body was dumped into the ocean? Any?
Again, you know, we've never made any statements to that effect. And again, if anybody had reported that, that's why we always go through the investigative process, because we don't. We want to make sure that before we release information, that the information is true, is factual, and can be backed up. And so, any information that you may have reported, or anybody may have reported that, you know, it was dumped in the ocean, that's why we don't make statements unless we're sure that we have factual information to report to the community. Yeah.
How are investigators strongly able to say that this could be the body of Michael Castro without the results of the autopsy?
How are they able to say?
Yeah.
Again, we're going to leave that up. The identification, because these are human remains, they become the property of the chief medical examiner's office, and therefore, because they're human remains, it becomes the responsibility of the forensic pathologist to identify those remains. And so there's going to be a process that we go through. If it requires DNA, then of course we'll work with the family to obtain DNA samples and compare those DNA samples with the remains. But again, it's up to the forensic pathologist to determine what method or means he's going to use for identification. There's different ways. It could be DNA, it could be dental, if the body's still intact to some degree, could be fingerprints, right?
Right.
So there's multiple ways that we do identification of found human remains.
Right, but you just said, Chief, that the investigators strongly believe that
We-
this could be the body of Michael Castro.
Because based on the information that we've got, and from the sources that we've got the information from, and the way that they presented the statements to us, this is why we believe that we're confident enough to stand here and say we believe that this is the Mr. Castro's body.
Yeah, we're hearing investigators speaking with some of the defendants in this case. Can you tell us anything about that, and maybe that leading to a potential plea deal?
No, again, because we're such early on in this investigation and dealing with the defendants in this case, that it'd be premature for me to make any statements to that effect. Yeah, anything beyond what defendant statements make, I'll defer that to the Attorney General's office, because we're at that stage already where they're dealing with the attorneys of the defendants. Okay. All right. Any other questions? Yes, Chris.
Melanie Guerrero, Michael Castro's mom, had some very, very high praise for the Guam Police Department, especially the Criminal Investigation Division officers. She said that she was kept in the loop for the duration of this investigation, and when I was at the scene, I was very emotional. She hugged a bunch of the officers from CID and thanked them for never giving up on her son. Do you guys have a comment on that?
Yes, Chris. The criminal investigation, the detectives. We never give up on our cases. Again, we talked about that 4-year-old missing person investigation from this morning. When we have leads and when we have tips and we have information that we need to follow up, and especially when we're dealing with homicide cases, we will always follow up on them. We'll never relent, and we never give up, because I think when we solve homicide cases, it gives a better sense of security to the community, that they can rely on your Guam Police Department, to keep you safe. And we understand that different crimes occur and different types of crimes happen, and sometimes people don't feel safe. But when you're able to solve very violent crimes, the people in the community feel safe because they know that they can count on their Guam Police Department. And you're right, the Criminal Investigation Division, the special agents, have never given up, and we've always just continued to work the case, because we want to make sure that we provide closure to the families of the victims. It's important, no matter what state we find the body in, that's always very important to a family, is that they're able to find something of their loved ones so that they can have closure and learn to deal with the grief and the outcome therefrom. Okay, so thank you very much.
Chief, charging documents had mentioned about the victim possibly being disposed of in a barrel and then tossed away at sea. Did your investigators or did the officers find him on land or anywhere near the water?
Like I said, Nick, I haven't been to the scene, so I don't know personally. I can find out more. I can probably just send you a message, and I'll find out maybe even if we can discuss how the body was stored when we found it.
Right. Was there any other evidence found at the scene aside from the remains?
Yeah, because again, I wanted to make sure we do this press conference, because I've been receiving multiple requests from the media about what we're finding, and so like I said, I wanted to make sure before I come here and do a press conference that we did open up the container to ensure that there was human remains, and make sure that there's nothing else inside there besides human remains, because we want to make sure that we're dealing with this case very carefully.
So a container was found, a drum was found?
No, the container that we believe that the human remains were in, we wanted to make sure that we open it up to confirm that there were human remains. And so about 30 minutes ago, before this press conference, I was notified that we did confirm the human remains were found within a container. And so that's why I felt comfortable enough and confident enough that we can make a press conference.
So was this container in a jungle area, just tossed there, or was it buried, or can you give us an idea?
Yeah, so it was found in the jungle area up in the northern village of Yigo. Yeah, okay. All right, no other further questions. I think Candid wanted to stay back. They wanted to talk to me about the case this morning that they missed.
No,
Johnny?
I think Troy wanted to, it's tomorrow.
Tomorrow? Okay, so let him, we can call me tomorrow and we can talk about the Messier case.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, thank you everybody for your time and take care. Have a good day. Oh, sorry. This is Captain Scott Wade, in case you need to type in. It's from the Criminal Investigation, he's acting division chief. I apologize for not introducing him.